Hi, I'm Sarah Luscombe from Luscombe 𝙋𝙧𝙤𝙧𝙯, and I've been investing in Newport and development for over 20 years. So what's been happening in the last few weeks in the Newport property market? We're going to chat a bit about the sales figures and what's been listed, also about rental opportunities, and how does Newport compare to the rest of England and Wales. Now, despite government regulations coming in on the 26th of March, saying that in-person viewings are no longer illegal, lots of landlords and investors are still eager to add to their portfolio and grow it. So beforehand, when you used to buy an off-plan development or property, you wouldn't see the property. There would be a plan, a visual, some sketches, and people would put offers in and buy that way. So trend is coming into the second-hand property market. So instead of usually before you would go and view a property, now keen investors and developers and landlords are doing 360 tours. They're getting all the plans from the property, getting lots of photographs and making bids that way. So potentially there is a way that you can still invest in properties without actually having to view them at the moment. Even homeowners are getting on the act. They're doing their own virtual tours. They're getting their own Zoom calls and WhatsApp calls and to get their property marketed. So despite that, on the 13th of May, England opened up, Wales hasn't followed suit yet, but don't lose out on any bargains that might potentially become available, thinking that you can't get to the property. There are ways and means that you can view this property. So let's see what the figures are looking like in the Newport property market. I'm going to share my screen with you now to show you some facts and figures. Now, this is the properties that were listed. 41 properties in the Newport postcode have been listed since the month of May, and we've listed 126 since the beginning of the lockdown period. But as you can see, springtime is probably the best time to put your properties on, and you can see they've decreased. Only 41 in May, in April 75, in March 195, and in February 125. So you can see the numbers have been decreasing steadily. Now let's have a look at what's been sold in the market. Now the last sale was the 12th of March on Basic Road, very lucky to get the last one in. But here you can see the comparison between this year and last year. Only 2 sales in March compared to 79 last year. 33 in February, 111 year before, and in January 75, and last year there was 87. So you can see things have been changing and decreasing. So with a reduction of properties coming to the market and the pent-up frustration of investors and landlords who want to get out there and start buying, could potentially be a good thing for the Newport property market. Now, Rightmove suggested that at the beginning of the lockdown period, their viewing figures were down 40%, whilst during the lockdown period, it went up, almost even recovered and is even doubled. And there were lots more people looking for properties, larger properties with gardens. So this potentially could be a good thing. So rather than feeling trapped and powerless in this time, this could be a really fruitful time to do your research and get all your ducks in a row. So as soon as the lockdown has finished or been lifted slightly, you can get out there and get your buy-to-let and property investment deals. Now, one of the biggest barriers in April was mortgage lending. In the early days of the pandemic, most of the mortgage lenders removed their products and their best deals from the market, which restricted the capacity to buy enormously. What we're seeing in May now is some of these deals trickling back into the market, and also mortgage companies integrating a more digital process, doing virtual surveying, mortgage valuations, desktop valuations. So hopefully some of the products will come back into the market and it'll be easier for us to buy during this lockdown period. So now I'm going to show you some of the figures of Newport compared to the rest of England and Wales leading up to the lockdown. So on this screenshot, we've got how Newport was performing before lockdown. Now Newport compared to England and Wales was up 3%. That's an extra 5,000 on your property price. So it shows you that it was quite a robust market before the lockdown. Now, this is showing you as well that an average price of a property in the Newport area. Now, the average price of a 3-bed is 171,000. So I want to put all these together and show you the average rental as well. The average rental is coming out of a 3-bed is £708 per calendar month. So how does all this work together with the mortgage lending, the property values, and the rentals per month. I'm going to give you a little illustration of how this looks. So taking these figures, an average 3-bed is 171, an average rent 708. So using the Mortgage Works buy-to-let product 5-year fixed, it's coming at 1.64%. So on a 75% loan to value, that's borrowing of 128,250. With the rental income at 708, that's a rental income of 8,496 per year. This gives a gross profit of 6,393. So showing that bricks and mortar seem quite a tangible asset at the moment. Now, if we want to look at then how the rentals have been looking up to the beginning of the lockdown period, rentals were a very good, stable market. And since lockdown, we have at Luscombe 𝙋𝙧𝙤𝙧𝙯 gone up by 35% of people looking for properties to rent. So if your property is on the market at the moment and you can't sell it, get used to the digital process, get your things valued, get your agents to make sure they are doing virtual valuations. If not, get on the rental market. Rental demand is very, very strong at the moment. Lots of people are looking and very keen to move. As I said, we've been up 35% since the lockdown period. So that's our overview of the Newport market of the last few weeks, and I hope you found it useful.